Hello friends, this is Chris with Peace of Mind Art and Crafts, and today I'm here to show you continuing on from our making of the Christmas journal, where I had put in one of these ribbon Christmas trees that I made several years back when I made my own Christmas cards. This was one of the designs that I used for the front of the card. And I really liked it. I just kept the pattern, and so I was going to show you how I made them. What I did was, and I will show you the process of this in a few minutes after I show you how to cut them out. But I made this on a piece of fusible interfacing. So in other words, it has paper on both sides. And I took the paper off of one side, and that was the sticky side, and I started laying various pieces down onto the interfacing. And like I said, I'll show you how to do that in a moment with using some more fabric and ribbon. This one I mostly used lace and ribbon, and that's what I used. I had some ribbon that had wire in it, and I did take the wire out before I used my little iron to adhere it. And this is a small iron that I used in my quilting a lot. And I just stuck all these pieces down with the iron to the interfacing. You have to be kind of careful. And there were some parts that did not stick down well, and so what I did was I used my glitter glue, and that seemed to work really well on here. If you do not have any interfacing, just really any piece of a base paper or fabric will do, as long as it's kind of plain, and so your ribbons don't show through to a print or anything. So you can use any kind of I just found it easier to be able to tack this. As you can see, this is kind of coming loose here, and you can always like glue those pieces down later after you cut out your trees. So what I did was I put down and I cut out my first tree. I decided, and I did it on the front just because so I could see where the ribbon would go. I made a couple of patterns, and I put it on here, and then so I can see where the ribbon's going to go, and so that I can also kind of get as much as possible on here. What you can also do is you can also turn and do like two at a time on here to get the most use out of your collage that you made. And I consider this to be a collage, so let's go ahead and cut these out. First of all, I know I have enough room for this one, so I'm going to put that aside for the moment. I'm going to get my scissors, just use paper scissors on this. And I'm just going to hold this, down. Okay, now, see where I have that Santa Claus showing on here? That's good. Check it all the way down. I want to put it on the straight up and down, because I want the ribbon to go on a diagonal. You can make it go the other way if you have smaller ribbon or thinner ribbon and lace. And another thing you can do also is after you finish these, if you want to put more, for example, on here, if you wanted to put maybe some more ribbon on there, here's some ribbon you could use. Maybe you could cut a piece of ribbon to have right here. Or you could make a little bow out of the ribbon, which I'll do now. Maybe we'll use it on this other tree, to use on the top of the tree, or to use all around the trees when you have little bows. So we'll use that in a few here. But you can always add things over the top if your ribbon's kind of plain and you want to add some more lace or something to it. You notice on this one I just added a little flower on the top of the tree. Okay, so I'm ready to cut. Kind of got my edges straight. I'm going to cut along this side. I'm just holding down the cardstock pattern. And I cut all the way up. Okay, then I have this piece left, which I know I can make another tree out of. See how it has that? Is going in the correct direction. Okay, so next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to turn. And you can also trace this onto your ribbon if you want. And for sure you can, once you get used to this, you can, and know your placement and so on, for sure you can turn it over and trace it on the back. I'm just trying to make the most use, get the most use out of this. And you don't have to just have these be trees either. They could be stars or any other shape you might want to make. Okay, and then I'm going to go down this side. Just cut slowly because you're cutting through ribbon. And okay, and then you would make your stand on here. And this on my tree I have more like a stand on the bottom. You could have a trunk as well, as if you'd rather. I just thought a stand would fit better because it's kind of a decorated tree. It's not just like one you'd find out in the outside of your yard or anything. Okay, so see how pretty that turned out? Let me hold this over excuse me. Let me hold this over another piece of paper so you can see it better. Okay, and now here's where you can remember the little bow we talked about that I made. You might want to put that at the top of the tree. Or even, I think it would look kind of pretty down here on the stand. And notice also how part of this ribbon and lace is coming loose. I can just glue that back down and it'll be fine. And then glue this little bow on here. And later I can look for something else to put on the top of the for the star or whatever on the top of the tree. Okay. Now you can just keep going and use your other piece. Use your other piece of ribbon that you cut off from here. Here's actually, oh, here it is. And on this one, it's probably not going to fit for a, although it does kind of, for a bigger tree. I'm going to just use my smaller tree pattern. And just go up or down, depending on what you want, what design you want. Okay, and then just do the same thing. Use your scissors to, while you're holding down. And it does not, believe me, it does not matter if you get this exact, because you can always, after you get it cut out, if you don't like the shape of it, then you can always trim it down a bit. We're just trying to get the most out of our collage paper as we can. Okay, so we got another tree. This one has a like the snowman going upside down or something. That does not matter. That's not a big thing. And you can always put another piece of ribbon over the top of that too if you don't like it. Okay, so then we just keep going in this manner until we use up all our strips, until we use up all our paper. Now, if you wanted to, you could see how this has come, whatever was on there has come loose. If you wanted to, you could save this little piece, and I think I will for another project. Some more ephemera. And this was a little scrap that I had left over also, which I can use to make another tree out of. That fits pretty well. This I think I will toss. It's a pretty piece of ribbon. I might save that. Okay, now I still have quite a bit more left that I can do more trees out of, or maybe even some star shapes. So I'm going to put that aside for now. I'm going to show you, excuse me, the process of making the paper. You get a drink of water here. And like I said earlier, we use a piece of fusible interfacing. Actually, this one didn't come with paper on the front and back. It just comes with paper on the back, but the back side is also has fusible on it, so it could be ironed down if you wanted it to. And this is what I use in my art quilts for my fusible applique technique. So I just continued on from there because I had some. So okay, and you can see I've already started this. I have heated up my little iron, and I also have my art glitter glue handy. And you don't have to start up in the corner, you can start anywhere. And you fill all the spaces with ribbon and fabric. This is just fabric that is torn from a piece of bigger fabric. And actually fabric works the best when you're tacking it down to this paper, because the fusible is like a glue. Now I will tell you, this ribbon, this blue ribbon, did not tack down very well, so I used glue. Same for these laces. The fabric seems to work the best. I'll show you. Let's try this swan ribbon next. This is like a little pink ribbon with swans on it. And see if that works. Actually, it does work pretty well. And as I go along, this ribbon has some wrinkles in it, so this helps to iron out the wrinkles. Now, if this wasn't adhering well, I could use some glue on this ribbon as well. Okay, and I just keep going along in this manner, picking out fabrics and ribbons that I like. Now this, if you can do this with just small pieces and then just kind of join them as you go along. I'll show you that. A little piece of fabric that I had left. This is my ribbon ring. Some of you may have seen this in the past. A couple years ago I made these on a YouTube video, which you can watch. And I also sell these in my Etsy shop. Basically what it is it's a bracelet that I have taken, and whenever I had like leftover pieces of ribbon or fabric, then I would tie them around this, and then it could hang on the wall or wherever you want. Let's see, what else do we have here? Let's try this X&O ribbon. And see, I can just put that right there and join it. Let me cut it so it's prettier, it's more even. Since I'm putting it over the top of this. And then I can tack that down. Looks like this heat is causing it to run, which is fine. I don't mind that look. And then this part that is over the top of the fabric, I'm going to just use a little bit of my glitter glue on there. Glue it down. Now, if you want to, like I said, if you don't have this fusible interfacing, you can just use a regular piece of muslin or some kind of thinner paper. Cardstock. You could use cardstock to make these. You know, kind of whatever you want to try. Okay. So on this, since you're making other shapes, you could try a heart on here. Should we try a heart on here? See how it works? Well, it's going to have a heart. It better say XOXO, huh? So I could cut it out, and it would show, it would be that shape in a heart. Okay, so that's how you make the ribbon collages, and you can cut out. I once, believe it or not, I once made a vest, you know, like a garment, a vest out of Christmas ribbon, and it turned out beautiful. It was of course not washable, but since it was a vest, you wore it over other clothes, and it actually turned out really beautiful. This was about 30 years ago that I made the vest, and I can't find it. I know I still have it somewhere. So this is definitely fun and addicting, and of course you can clip off the edges and save it for later. Okay, so let me show you another piece of ephemera that I've made for the journal the Christmas journal that we just finished. And that is these small pieces of ephemera, or you can make them large too, doesn't matter. Here's some bunch that I made. And you can use them for tags, for pockets. This one would make a cute pocket probably. Let's see. Okay, so basically this one's gotta add to that one. And when I finished gluing them, then I sewed them. I'm gonna turn this iron off before I forget. When I finished gluing them, then I sewed them. I just took them to the machine and I sewed around certain parts. I'm not going to show you how to do that today, because it's really, if you have a sewing machine, you can figure it out how to do that. And you can also just put them through your machine, you know, and then put the next one through without cutting your threads, and then go back and do the other side. A way to kind of get them done a little bit more quickly. So these are really pretty easy, and you can do them with other papers and fabrics and so on that aren't Christmas. Just today that I'm showing you the Christmas ones. Okay. What I do is I take strips of leftover paper that I have, Christmas paper, and either tear or cut into strips, and they can be larger, smaller strips. Anything goes. And then you just start layering them up by gluing them to each other. If you are going to sew them, it probably is a good idea to use a lightweight glue like the glitter glue or your glue stick. That would work as well. Let's see. I'm going to tear this one. And you can also ink these as well. They don't have to all be torn. I like that. And just tear them and make them into different varying sizes. I'm just marking on this one where I want the glue on the back. Like so. Okay, and come back in and glue down the parts that I missed. And really, everyone should probably, every one of these that you make should probably have a focal point. So I pulled out a bunch of my scraps from my Christmas bag. Here's a pretty star that would look good on maybe on one of those trees that we just made. So I'm always finding stuff. Okay, here's the little angel. She's kind of pretty. You know, I guess I'm gonna try to make her work. Oh, let me see on this little girl if I can get her. And you can also I like her. You can use fabric on these, paper, basically anything. You can add things to them, charms, lace, ribbon. Okay. Let's see, I think I want a little bow on this little girl as well. Okay, this video will continue in a couple of minutes. Okay, I did, we'll join these two videos. And I did finish this one up. Did a little inking around the edges and added a little bow on the wreath. Okay, let's try a couple more. This. Okay, this. And this is really, I mean, you can practically do this in your sleep. It's just a matter of layering up some papers, and then once you get it to the size that you want it, then you can, you know, put it on basically anything. Here's a music sheet. Actually says the first Noel. I wonder if I can get that in there. Okay, so that's the back. I mean the front. And also tear this so that all the edges are not straight. And this is just a fun thing to do, like say when you're, since I'm doing it after I've already finished my Christmas journal, you can just, you know, you can just do it like that, just after you finished your journal and you have a bunch of scraps left. Then this is easy enough to do, so that in your next journal you'll have some ephemera to use. Now I could put a saying on there or something like that. Here's some lyrics. Nope, don't like that. Just keep trying stuff till you like, you know, find something you like. It's kind of more of a religious one, so maybe I'll put on the angel. The little singing angel. Or maybe she's playing a horn. I think she's playing a horn. Okay. I hope all of you are doing well. Christmas season is coming roaring upon us. Okay, that could use some, maybe some inking up or something else, but for now we'll call that ready. Just continue on in this manner. Let's see what else I got here. Try some fabric. Let's try some fabric pieces. Sorry, I was doing that off camera. Okay, I'm just starting with a bigger piece of scrap of paper, gluing things down to it, and then I can tear it or cut it later as I go. I might have to use the fabric tack on this, but let's see if this will hold it down. It should, because the fabric is not that thick. Now it just depends on how much. Now since this, I didn't tear this down here, I don't think I will up here either. I'll just cut it. And then of course I have another piece. Tear down this side. And we check the back. Actually, I like this. I might like a piece of, this is for my ribbon roll again. These things are handy to have because you can just have them at your table, and as you work, you can just find something that you like that's on here and untie it and use it. And also, as you go along, if you have a piece that's relatively long that you want to use, safe to use, then you can do that as well. I'll put that across the top there. Now, if you're going to sew this, you could probably wait till you go to the sewing machine to put this on. I'm going to try it with the glitter glue. Just to adhere it down there till I go to the sewing machine. Some of these I may sew, some of them not. Just depends. So I pretty much just hold that down until, and sometimes if I take a piece of, this is going to make noise, but if I take a piece of wax paper and hold it down on there till it adheres, it won't stick to the wax paper. So that helps to adhere it down there. And did I wait long enough? Yeah, I think I did. Okay, and we can still do more here on this side. I'm going to try to flip that off just a little bit. And what else can we put on here? Let's see. A piece of ribbon. I mean lace. Yeah, kind of like that. I like the green scrap of paper with the little holly. I like that showing a little bit, so I don't want to cover it over completely. I can also, after I'm finished, if this is too linear for me, I can put paper to the side as well, if I wanted to make that maybe a bigger tag. I think I like it the way it is, though. I may add something else to the top, like a charm, or, oh, I know what I could do. I could make it into a, let's make it into a tag. Okay. And cut off this back piece. This is fabric. little bit of clipping on the side here. I want to make it so it's not as straight. And that, of course, can use a piece of ribbon or lace on the top. But you can see how easy these are to do. Thanks for joining me today. I wish you peace of mind. Bye for now.